Dear Liana, my name is Ghizlane, but you can call me Gigi. I am from Morocco. I had the greatest pleasure and honor to meet Liana in a really cool international online event. And instead we connected with other like-minded people who love to develop themselves and just like grow as individuals and pursue dreams and goals. So today I'll be talking about what I do as a trainer and learning facilitator, and especially the work I do with youth empowerment.
Right. Um, like you said, I'm so happy that you're here and that you were able to make it. And it is quite fun the way I'm of meeting people nowadays with, the whole internet thing. And even if Corona and everything, I have never met so many people like I have done this year. I have connected with so many people as well. So I I really wanted to have you here just to, tell a little bit about what is it that you do.
All right. Just jumping back again, that is really, really, really cool to have this opportunity to connect with people, especially in these hard times. So I'll go back when I was in high school. So most of my life, I did school in a public school, meaning we didn't have a lot of opportunities to develop some skills or to develop ourselves. So we're really good in hard skills. We do the homework, we study the lessons, we that was it. So whenever there is this extracurricular activity, this teacher who does this activity, either it's drama or art or anything, we're all like super eager to go learn because it's fun, because it's special, because that's the way we learn as people. So when I was in high school, maybe I was in the junior. When I was in my junior year of high school, I was just like looking on Facebook and just like being there. And then there is this opportunity for this workshop. It was called workshop entitled Human Rights, Artistic Rights, and Freedom of Expression. It was like 16. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I mean, I do some kind of art, but I'm not an artist. And then there's this really cool workshop. So I did apply. I don't know where I got the courage and the confidence from, but I did apply somehow. And in the application, they called for a resume and a cover letter. I don't have those. So I went on Google and I said, how do you write a cover letter? How do you write a CV? And they made them up. And the CV was so empty because I didn't have much. I just have my high school education and some extracurriculars. But I still did, and I did apply. I just opened my email and I sent the application, and that's it. The thing is, the age criteria was from 22 years old to 30 years old, and I was 16. So even from the age point of view, I was out. And then they asked like 2 years of experience in art, like being a professional artist. Just had all these criteria and requirements, but I didn't care. It was during a week break, so I won't be missing school. It's just a week break. So I did all of these cool things and I did apply. And I told them the truth. I said, I don't have the experience, I don't have the age. This was really cool. Can I join? This is my CV, this is my resume letter, that's it. And I just forgot about it. And then one day I just opened my mail, my email. I didn't have the habit that I have now. And they finally got me in. I was selected to participate in this workshop. It was my first workshop ever. And it was a week workshop. And they said, because of the sensitivity of the topic, you'll need your parents to sign this document and say, yes, I want my daughter to attend this workshop about these kind of things. My parents accepted, and I went to this workshop. And it was mind blowing. Just seeing how people learn outside of the traditional classroom and just the connection we had. So we had people from all over the MENA region, not just Morocco. We had people from Tunisia, from Asia, from so many countries, so many ages, so many backgrounds. I was just there. The high school girl on break that got selected, and I was really lost and really confused. But at the same time, I was really, really, really motivated. And they called me the baby of the workshop.
Of course.
I was the baby of the workshop. It was
Yeah,
mind blowing.
but that's amazing that, and that's one thing that I love, when you feel that's something that this is something for me, I want to know more, and you just do it. And yes, you didn't have the age, but it didn't really matter at the end, right? So it's wonderful. And that's a great thing to show other people that, it doesn't matter your age or where you come from, that if you really want something, just try and get it. So that's amazing.
Thank you, and that's a great point because like I wasn't eligible, but when they read the letter and the email, it looks like I'm really motivated. They didn't want to just reject me just like that, so they said yes. So that was 1 week of full immersion in workshops, knowing how learning really occurs, meeting people from all other countries, other cultures. I was like, whoa! So there is a traditional school. I was a really good student. I did well in school, but it didn't give me much value other than, again, the hard skills that everyone knows. But
Right.
the new workshop with self-education, it was much, much, much better. So I took the decision from that workshop, that experience, that I should take this experience and share it with others. Because my classmates don't know about this kind of education, or didn't have the chance to do it. So my passion of being a trainer started from this workshop, this story I just told you.
Oh, wow.
And
So you started since you were 16.
yes, so when it was
Wow, that's amazing.
it wasn't easy. I'm getting there. It wasn't easy. So I had 1 week content that I attended with my certification and everything. So I know much, much more than the average student my age. So
Right.
I went to my English teacher. He was a really cool teacher. And I told him my story. I told him, oh, there's that 1 week break. Most students we travel, they had fun just sleeping at home. But I was waking up really early and I was going to the center. I was doing this training. Blah, blah, blah. Can I please have the students for 2 hours? I will take the content I took from 1 week, put it in 2 hours, and deliver it to him. He said, maybe. What is the topic of the training? That's the point. I didn't mention the topic of the training. I said it was about human rights, freedom of expression, artistic expression. He's like, no, 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 no. Pick another topic. Pick another topic that you will master and a topic that will interest the students. These are big topics for our classroom. I think it's the point because it is a big topic. Let's have a fun workshop about it. Let's discuss it. It took me many, many tries for him to say yes, and he said yes. But then he had conditions. He said, I have to review the material before, I need to see the activities, I need to make sure it's, we had all these conditions, so he is sure it's very appropriate for his classroom. And he
Right.
did the classroom and the students for 2 hours. And that was my first workshop ever being a
Well,
facilitator.
so they were as old as you. They
Yes,
were. How
but
did that
without
feel? I mean, that's actually, I remember when I was 16, I was petrified to stand in front of my classmates. I had never dreamed that I would be doing this when I was 16.
well,
So I think that's amazing that you could do that and have, totally
thank you.
different thing with your classmates.
I think it came, as I told you, from the efforts my teachers did beforehand. As I told you, like I study in a public school, we don't have much of soft skills. But there is always these professionals, these teachers who volunteer their time to do some activities from their own time, their own money, their own everything. And I was really sticking into this. Like when we had drama classes, when we had art class, art project, I was really bad at art. But I still showed up because it was something really fun I do, and like just make friends. So yes, and meeting these people that are older than me in the workshop and seeing how amazing and cool they are really motivated me. And starting with your classroom is better than starting with strangers because I know their names, they know me.
Right.
The teacher is there to save me if I mess up. So it was a good transition for me to start as a trainer in a very comfy environment with the teacher with me, with my friends and everything. Something I struggle with, as you said, is how your friends are gonna see it. Are they gonna give you the respect because the trainer needs this authority of, hey, I'm cool, this is really cool training, but at the same time you have to respect me so I can respect you back. It was a struggle again. I'm not gonna say it was the best workshop of my life, but it was special because it's the first one. Definitely, definitely special. I
Yeah.
did prepare a lot, and I also got feedback. So we had this trainer. She's from Brazil, the one that did 1 week training for the whole first workshop. So when I designed the 2 hour workshop, which is a very, very signature, I gave it to her. She gave me feedback. We had a Skype call, and then the teacher saw it with me, and he made sure it's accurate. I did practice a lot at home with myself, just boosting this confidence. Again, I was really not owning it 100%, but it still happened.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, just taking that step, that's actually huge. I don't know. I mean, did you even think about that step being quite big, or was it, you just did it?
For me, it was out of duty. I felt I had to do it because it was a very transformative experience for me. Just going from this kind of public school to this really high quality workshop with international amazing experts. I had this change. it was a free workshop. You didn't pay anything for it. It was paid by sponsor partners. It was a very golden opportunity, and I want them to experience what is a workshop, and
Yeah.
that learning happens in other ways.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
think that you have really to think about it, because I think many people, especially at that age, that they could have doubted on themselves. And I mean, people that are even 30 or 40 would also have done like, am I really going up for this? And it's many people could actually see that as a challenge. But you actually felt the duty to do it, and that's beautiful, because it, I mean, both that you felt the duty that you had to, but also that you actually did it. And even if it was hard, that you continue doing it. So that's amazing. You should be really proud of yourself
Thank
for that.
you. Thank you so much. So again, the first step was in home, at home, in school with the students I know, with the teacher I know. But then moving forward, the challenge was, yes, I have this content, yes, I have the motivation, I feel the duty. But again, I still struggled with people really trusting me with their workshops. They would still prefer to invite someone who has years and years of experience versus inviting me. So I did a lot of volunteer work. I'm just building my experience to prove to others that I can deliver value, I can make learning happen. And that's the magic of being a learning facilitator. I'm there to facilitate the learning. There is this dialogue happening. I'm not there being a professor dictating that this plus this equals this, but I'm here to facilitate and make sure the learning occurs. So today, after years of experience, I still struggle with this. But then I just need them to give me the first chance so I can prepare, deliver value, and from there, like, whoa, you make a point, your age doesn't make. Uh, it's not a criteria to say yes or no. This is something I'm still struggling with, but hopefully, people will give more chances to young people who are motivated versus just picking the older person because they're older.
Right. So how does it work? I mean, do you contact different public schools and meet different classes, or do they contact you, or how does the whole work thing?
All right. So I'm still a student in university. I study business and administration. So I have a busy schedule. But before the COVID context, I reached out to other universities or other high schools. And I design topics. I change the topics. It's not human rights anymore.
Right.
I change the topics to soft skills and leadership and personal development. These are three topics I'm really passionate about. I do a lot of reading about them. I myself attended a lot of trainings on them. So these are topics that speak to my heart.
Right.
And then we figure out together. So a lot of universities, they have these clubs about different topics. So they would love to have a trainer come and do a training. So that's how I did it. But because or thanks to COVID, it's happening online. So I had many opportunities this past
Yeah.
year to do many trainings because it's very convenient. I can just show up for
Right.
1 hour or 2 hours and the training is there.
Yeah.
That helps me with much more practice, but also it helps me boost my confidence and connect with more people.
Absolutely. So usually, how old are the people that are in the trainings?
They're from 15, 16 if I'm in high school, till 25 for university. I
That's
still
great.
didn't do that jump yet. I'm still working with students for the moment, building my portfolio of trainings and also building my skills, but we'll get in there.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what has been the most fun of this? I mean, I think everything has the good things and the bad things. But what is the most fun for you of being doing this?
There are many moments that are fun. Something I really enjoy is icebreakers, especially for the in person. I make sure, like, when people come, most of them, I would say 30% of people who show up in the room, they're hesitant. Maybe they just heard about the training, they're not sure, they just came to have a look. Or maybe I'm your friend, Liana, and then you're interested about the topic. So, like, hey, did you come with me? Please come with me. So they're just there because their friend asked them to. So they're
Yeah.
very interested, and then you have like 20 minutes maximum so you can get their attention so they're not running out the door doing another activity. So I make sure the icebreakers are fun, crazy, happy, energetic. So they're like, even if I'm not learning something, I'm gonna have fun, so it's okay. The first goal is to convince them to stay.
But
Honestly.
I think that's still a good way because I'm a big believer in that things happen for a reason. So if a friend just follows just to be nice and kind to their friend, I think that that's great because they're getting so much out of it themselves, even if they're not aware of that. So that's amazing.
So that's one part is making sure it's fun from the beginning so we can catch their attention so they are staying till the end. And it also breaks this relation trainer trainee uh, on their like teacher the material, you have to do this activity, you have to do this and that versus hey, we're here to have fun, we're here to learn. Um, and my favorite moment is also at the end, at the very end, I make sure there is this reflection activity. If you have enough time, you have this object that you take and then it moves like through the whole room. And when the objects come, it can be a ball, it can be something. And then you take reflections. You say, today I'm taking with me, blah, 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 blah. It's a key learnings, a lesson you've learned that you're taking home with you. And a lot of people tell me I'm just here for the fun or I'm here because you told me to come. But I'm leaving the room and I'm taking this lesson with me. Either I will be more mindful about my time, I'll be kinder to myself, I'll write myself a love letter. I just have these amazing reflections and these amazing commitments that they're taking with them home. And it's really impactful for me that we're not spending time, we're making a difference.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I was thinking the courses, is it, or the training, is it for like, could you use it for anything like when you go to school, or is it because you said that it's about leadership and self-development and everything, that's like the thing that you want to get more into, but is that something that you can work with any subject from school?
Yes, so whenever I either suggest my trainings to others or others heard about me somewhere because someone had fun or had a really cool learnings, they reach out to me and they say, let's say, for example, we have a club about personal development, and like this is something happened recently, and we have struggled with our team. We're not getting along. The members are not very interested and losing interest. I would love for you to do to us this training about how we can be better as a team. How can we work as a team and really learn from each other and be kind to each other? So this helps me as a trainer because I know the problem. I know they're not getting along, but I also know the goal. The goal of the training is by the end of the training, they should be more aware of the team. How can they make efforts, etc. So from this problematic and the need, I designed the workshop. The icebreaker, the reflection questions, the techniques and strategies, because we have only 1 or 2 hours. It's not a long time.
Right.
But knowing what they need, it's really easier for me to design what they want, and by the end they'll be happier because that's the goal. Versus just um, any topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try my best to design it according to what they need.
Right. Yeah. But do the workshops, do you have like several workshops like once a week, or do you, is it, do you only have one specific workshop for that person, or could it be a
So,
little different depending on who's asking?
so this team again that I'm specified in for the moment are leadership, personal development, and soft skills. So if a topic is in this range, I can really work on it. But if it's something really out of my comfort zone, I will politely apologize and say this is not something I can do, and I might recommend someone who will do a better job than me on it. Because we don't want to just sit there and be like, I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure, but I make sure I'm delivering value. For the timeline, again, when before COVID, I had maximum 2 per week, maybe
Yeah.
one in the weekend and one in the weekdays. But now with people being connected, I can do much more. But again, it just depends. Like, for example, this week I have two, but then the week after I have none because I have my exams. I need to focus on them. So it
Right.
just depends. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's wonderful that you can still combine that part and your own studies at the same time.
It gets tough.
I
Uh,
can
it's
imagine.
really tough, especially again because it's not like the same workshop that I'm doing over and over again. I try my best so it's personalized so people can get
Right.
value from it. So it does take time, but because I love it so much and I truly believe it changes something in you, even if you don't put So like you have this lesson and you say at the end of the workshop, this is my reflections, I'm taking this with me. And let's say you procrastinate and don't do anything, the lesson is still here. There's a seed in your brain that will grow, and if you're not using it today or this month, the time will come and you will use it eventually.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So what was it that made you have the workshops more into leadership and personal development?
So again, like for the first topic, that was human rights and freedom of expression, is something I wasn't really me, but it was something I got a lot of learning from. So I had 1 week training, full experts. So I took 2 hours from it, uh, and then I transformed it later into women's rights because I'm really passionate about women. But then I wanted something that I will be so passionate about that I can give all my best on it. And I was like thinking that I'm reading a lot of personal development books. I love Tony Robbins so much. He really impacted me. And just like many other really cool, amazing people about personal development. And it also is that in my university, people don't really believe in it or they don't really give it that much importance. So I'm like, let's make the workshop about personal development because we need it. No
Yeah,
matter what we study, no matter what our age, where we are at life, we can always use a personal development to make our lives better. So
yeah,
I did create a club in my university, um, and we had in the club is about personal development and leadership.
that's
Again, it's about taking initiatives and doing things and leading. I don't need a title to be a leader. I can be a leader in my own little community and just make a difference. And again, with the years coming, the next 2 years, I noticed that in the job market, a lot of people have hard skills, but not many people develop their soft skills. Communication, getting along with others, emotional intelligence, which is related to personal development. But soft skills is more for people who really want a job, who really want to develop themselves professionally. So that's why I really divided them into 3 parts. And myself, I'm always learning, always growing, making sure I develop myself and my knowledge because we are learners for life.
yeah, yeah, that's amazing. So if we would go back to what has been hard, because like you said, I mean, things happen. Um, what was like the hardest part for you going through this?
To be honest, one, I don't like to compare myself with others, but sometimes I just can't help it. Let's say, for example, I send my portfolio and I work on my experience to one specific entity because we had this event, and in this event, they're supposed to have so many workshops. And then they politely rejected me saying, I don't have enough experience, you're young, you don't have the profile, etc., which I really appreciated because receiving feedback is really important. But then I was like, because I'm not really, I don't have the profile, let's go to the event and attend the workshop so I can learn myself. And when I went to the workshop, I was really upset because honestly, they weren't that good, but they had like more followers on social media and they were more famous. That's why they brought them. They brought them because they have like this big fan base and because they will make the event more popular. And I was kind of disappointed because I said the point is not who has more followers, but the point who will connect with your audience, who will serve them, who will offer deliver, who will do their best. This is just one concrete example, but I had many times when I got rejected for the wrong reasons. Again, I truly appreciate feedback. I would love to get feedback. I always attend trainings. I always like get mentored with amazing trainers, better than me. They have more experience. But being rejected for the wrong reasons really hurts. Uh, really hurts, and then I have to like just ignore the sport and keep going.
Yeah, yeah, because that's one of the hardest things for most people, I think, is to hear when things are not right or when they're not satisfied or when, we are not, we just want to hear how good we are to feel good, right? They say like if you say one bad thing, you have to say at least seven good things to kind of balance it out. That's a big, I mean, that's a big difference. 1 to 7 or 1 to 10, it's a little bit different. But how have you worked through that? I mean, when you see something that someone writes or gives you critic in some way. how is the easiest way for you to like move past that?
I just question. I don't know who said that, but I always use this tool. They said, "Do you want to be in the spot of the person giving you this feedback? If it's a really cool trainer, a very like experienced person, then yes, I want to be in their spot. Then yes, I will listen to the feedback. I will consider it, think about it, reflect on it, and if like there is a tip that I can use to make myself better, thank you. I will use your tip. But if it's just someone who I don't want to switch places with, heck no.
Yeah.
Give me a very mean feedback. Then I'm gonna thank them for the feedback for taking the time to say it. And I'm just gonna put it aside and not let it get inside of me because once the feedback is in, it's gonna stuck. So no. Thank you for the feedback. I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, and that's great because, like you said, I mean, there's so many people that can't handle the critics, and I know I have had that problem before myself, that I can take it too personal. And just like you said, I mean, is that person someone that you look up to? Is that person really someone that you know knows better than you do? So yes, okay, get the critics. It's like, I know that Dean mentioned that about, you don't take advice from someone that about marriage who isn't even married. I
Mm,
mean, it's basically kind of the same thing,
right,
that
right.
you should take in of things that really kind of matter and are from the right people, and not take everything in. So that's great. So what are your plans onwards? I mean, how long do you have left of the university?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't have my life figured out yet, to be honest. But uh, this is my first year of master's, so I have this year and the year after to complete my master's degree. I will for sure doing more trainings, both online and in person these 2 years. I'm still figuring out my career, to be honest, after my master's, but I will for sure keep this as a side business. Maybe eventually will transform it into a business because so far it's just something I volunteer to do for universities and schools. But with experience again and building my brand, I can for sure make it a side business. And why not become a coach someday?
That's amazing. That's great. And
Thank
I think,
you.
I mean, you have so much in your bag already. I mean, you started pretty early, and that you have gotten all this experience already, which I think it gives a lot of value to people, whether if you begin your business now before your master's or 2 years later, so it will be great to keep in touch and following you and see how everything continues go for you. So I'm really happy that I have met you, and just the whole connection. And
Thank
it's
you.
funny because I mean, at the event that we were in, there were so many people. There were so
So
many people part of it, and still there were like this. I think it was like 3 4 people that we actually that I connected a lot with, and you were one of them, and there were 2 others, which one is my coach today. Yes.
I am.
Yeah. And another guy that I actually also have had an interview. So I mean, it's wonderful to find people to connect, and even if we're, I mean, you're in another part of the world, and still have that connection. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate the efforts you do hosting us, listening to our stories, but also for your support because, as you said, there were so many people in the event, and you are one of the kindest souls I met. Not only online, like I met.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Um, so let's say if someone would be interested about you training their youngsters, is there any way they can contact you?
Yes, you can contact me on my Facebook page or via email. I can
Yeah.
put them on the comments.
Yes, great. That's great. Is there anything else you want to, I mean, because like I said, I wanted to get you here because I wanted for people to be inspired by you, because it really is very inspiring what you're doing, and that you started so early, and that, yes, I'm 16, and that doesn't matter. I tried anyway. And that you gave it all. Because, like I said, I think many people would have said, "No, I'm too young to do this," or "I'm too, I don't know, I'm I'm a woman."
Okay.
You know, people have so many different perceptions on things that can stop them way too early. Um, so, is there anything that you would want to share to people out there about going for their dreams, or going, doing what they love? And yeah.
I would say close your ears and listen to your heart. Because my heart was telling me, do the training, meet young people, hug them, take pictures with them, be crazy, be energetic. But then the moment I opened my ears to like, not yet, you're too young. This is not professional. This is so childish. Why are you doing this kind of icebreakers? They're like 18 and they're telling me they're all for an icebreaker. Come on, you guys. Uh, you should see us jumping with Tony Robbins doing introductions. So if your heart is telling you to do something, just go try. Go try and try and try, and it will happen eventually.
Yeah, amazing. I'm so happy that you could be here and that you could share this with everyone. And I really, really do hope that this inspires people out there, because it really is inspiring. Um, so I'm so proud of you, and I'm really looking forward to see how everything evolves.
I wish you a lot of luck in your webinars and live sessions.
Thank-
Let's keep in touch for sure and
Yeah,
send you lots of love and support.
yes, you too. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.